Hello and welcome to the Football Uncovered channel where we look into players, managers, and teams. Looking back at the lows and highs of the sport we love. Today's topic is one of football's biggest what-ifs. Jack Wilshere. Jack made a monumental rise through the ranks at Arsenal and became the youngest debutant for the Gunners, but injuries plagued his career. So, let's look at the highs and lows. Jack was born on the 1st of January 1992 in Stevenage and was a boyhood West Ham fan, with his idol being Hammers legend Paolo Di Canio. He captained his school football team to multiple cups through years 7 to 10. Then, in late 2001, Wilshere joined the Arsenal Academy after a short spell with the Luton Town youth program. Yet, his father was hesitant about Jack committing so early, but coaches convinced him to let him join. Scouts and coaches alike could see the raw talent Jack possessed, with Liam Brady saying he was so good on the ball he could beat players with ease and score goals. Jack was already a top prospect for them. He rose through the ranks and was made captain of the under-16s in the summer of 2007. Wilshere would continue to hone his craft, and his work paid off. After a Champions Youth Cup in Malaysia, he would receive a start for the under-18s at just 15. He would go on to score 13 goals in just 18 appearances for the under-18s, all while being just 15. In early 2008, Jack would make his debut for the Arsenal reserves aged 16, scoring on his debut against Reading. He would make 3 appearances with the reserves, scoring twice and assisting twice, which caught the eye of Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger. He was awarded a place in the first team in the 2008-2009 season and given the number 19 shirt, previously worn by Gilberto Silva. He was given his competitive debut in the 84th minute of a Premier League match against Blackburn Rovers, and at the age of just 16 years and 256 days, he was Arsenal's youngest ever debutant, a record that Cesc Fabregas previously held. Only 10 days later he would score his first competitive goal in a 6-0 thrashing of Sheffield United in the League Cup. He would then go on to make his Champions League debut against Dynamo Kiev, becoming the 5th 16-year-old to play in the competition. He had caught the eye of everyone now, being the youngest debutant for Arsenal and the youngest European player for Arsenal. The upcoming 2009-2010 season would be crucial for Jack, with him already being called one of England's best prospects. And he took it in stride, netting twice, and being awarded 2 Player of the Matches in the preseason tournament, the Emirates Cup. Then on the 29th of January, he was loaned out to Premier League side Bolton Wanderers. The players took to him after striker Kevin Davies put in a hard tackle at training and told Jack, "You're going to have to toughen up if you want to play here." Jack didn't respond, but 10 minutes later, Davies had the ball and was sent flying from a clean tackle from Wilshere, who offered a hand up afterward with a smile on his face. He made his first league start against Manchester City and scored his first Premier League goal against his boyhood club in a 2-1 win. In his 13 matches, he had greatly impressed Bolton that they tried to sign him, but Wenger had plans for him. He would feature in the first 3 matches of the 2010-2011 season against Liverpool, Blackpool, and Blackburn Rovers. His form was undeniable, and throughout October he shone, but it would be cut short due to a red card, causing him to miss the rest of the month. However, that didn't affect him, with physical performances against Chelsea and Manchester United, even catching the eyes of England's boss Fabio Capello, stating he was the future and describing his plans to use him as a holding midfielder. The now 19-year-old would finish the season with 49 appearances across all competitions for Arsenal. However, during the summer leading up to the 2011-2012 season, Wilshere would suffer his first major injury. This would be the first of 17 that would plague his career. But he looked to make good progress with it, looking like he'd return quicker than expected, yet that wasn't the case. The injury would cause him to miss both the Olympics and Euros in 2012, which he was almost destined for. It took him 17 months to come back to the first team in a win against Queen's Park Rangers, in which he made an immediate return to form to earn the Player of the Match. He was quickly brought back into the team, continuing as if he never left, and was awarded a new long-term contract. Wilshere would then begin to play on the left wing, with the three main wingers being ruled out with injuries, and he repaid the faith by excelling in his new position. He would score against West Brom, Norwich, and Marseille. Wilshere was at the peak of his abilities and could only get better, but following a tackle from Daniel Agger in an England game against Denmark, he would be sidelined once more. He would return a month later, coming on as an extra-time sub in the FA Cup final against Hull in 2014, where he would win his first piece of silverware and then go on to win the Community Shield against Manchester City. He would also go on to score and assist against them, but would suffer another injury in late 2014, ruling him out for 3 months. He would return, scoring a consecutive BBC goal of the season against West Brom, and would win his third and final piece of silverware against Aston Villa in the FA Cup in 2015. Wilshere would then sadly have his worst injury yet. During pre-season training, he would break his fibula. He was only scheduled to be out for a few weeks at worst, but would undergo surgery on his leg, ruling him out for a further 3 months. Questions were being asked about Wilshere, and if it was time for him to part ways with Arsenal with the likes of Ozil at the club. But Jack was determined to make a return, stating he was frustrated by the injuries, but had the same motivation to play. He would return 10 months later for the Arsenal under-21s against Newcastle and would return to first-team action 2 weeks later against Sunderland, coming on for Ozil in the 84th minute. However, it was clear to see his time was coming to an end for Arsenal, and a loan move to Bournemouth in 2016 would delay it for a small time. However, Jack looked to return to form by winning 2 consecutive Player of the Month awards for Bournemouth in November and December, but yet another injury caused by Harry Kane in mid-2017 would cause him to miss the rest of the season and be sent back to Arsenal. Leading up to the 2017 to 2018 season, clubs showed interest in signing him, but Wenger stated he had plans for him. Wilshere would make his first appearance for Arsenal in nearly a year in the Europa League against FC Köln. Wilshere then made his first start in 16 months against Doncaster Rovers and played the full 90. Wilshere had clearly taken a back seat in his career and was well past his prime. Yet, he refused to go out without a fight by netting his first goal in 928 days for Arsenal against Bate Borisov. Wilshere's performances and Aaron Ramsey's injury saw him integrated back into the first team and saw him start for Arsenal in the Premier League for the first time in over a year and would see him complete his first 90 since 2014. Then on the 3rd of January 2018, his 6th consecutive start saw him net an emotional goal against Chelsea in a 2-2 draw, but it'd be the last thing he'd do for the Gunners as he announced he would leave the club he'd been at since he was 9 once his contract ran out. Wilshere signed for his boyhood club West Ham on the 9th of July 2018 on a 3-year contract, where he would make only 19 appearances when his contract was terminated with a year left. He was frustrated he wasn't picked as often even though he was fit enough. He then went back to Bournemouth on a short-term contract where he would make 17 appearances and score 2 goals, but his contract was not renewed at the end of the season. Wilshere would be without a club for nearly 2 years before signing for Danish side AGF on a short-term contract, but at the end of the 2021 to 2022 season, they stated they would also not renew his contract. And then on the 8th of July 2022, Jack Wilshere announced his retirement from football. Jack ended his career with 305 appearances across all clubs, 21 goals, 40 assists, and 34 caps for England. Wilshere is one of football's biggest what-ifs, and it's sad to see a player going from 49 games over a season to struggle to make it into a West Ham team. So that was a look into Jack Wilshere. If you liked this video, why not give it a like and comment who we should look into next? Until then, thanks for watching.